In the tranquil town of Villanova, life followed its usual course. Mrs. Isabella, a respected and admired woman for her elegance and leadership, was one of the most influential figures in the region. She lived in an imposing mansion, surrounded by mysteries and secrets that few dared to question. In the shadows of the mansion lived a humble young woman named Laura. Orphaned since childhood, Laura grew up in the village with her kind aunt, Mrs. Lucia, who raised her with love and dedication. Laura was known for her captivating beauty and enigmatic gaze, but her modest life prevented her from aspiring to anything beyond surviving with dignity. One sunny afternoon, while walking through the town square, Laura saw a poster pasted on a pole that would change her life forever. Mrs. Isabella was looking for a housemaid to work in her house, offering good salaries and growth opportunities. For Laura, this was a unique chance to leave her simple life behind and find a new path. Upon arriving at Mrs. Isabella's mansion, Laura was received by a serious butler named Alfredo. He led her to the mistress, who examined her thoroughly. Mrs. Isabella was a woman with a penetrating gaze and a cold expression, which left Laura somewhat intimidated. Nevertheless, the young woman didn't let herself be shaken and showed determination to win the position. Mrs. Isabella decided to give Laura a chance and hired her as a housemaid. The young woman was thrilled with the opportunity and vowed to do her best. As the days passed, Laura showcased her skills in the kitchen and in organizing the house, surprising everyone, including the mistress. Mrs. Isabella began to develop a special fondness for the young housemaid, and gradually, a bond of trust and respect formed between them. However, in that very mansion, a long-guarded secret was about to be revealed. Mrs. Isabella's son, Daniel, was returning to the town after many years living abroad. Daniel was a mysterious and charismatic man, who charmed everyone with his enigmatic smile. But there was something dark in his past that he kept hidden from everyone. Upon reuniting with Laura, Daniel was taken aback by a mixture of surprise and fascination. The young housemaid had transformed into an enchanting woman, and her deep gaze intrigued him. He approached her, pretending to be interested in the simple life she led. Laura, in turn, was intrigued by the mysterious man but remained cautious, knowing that the family's secrets could be dangerous. Meanwhile, in a neighboring town, lived a young man named Gabriel. He was a determined journalist, eager to uncover the truth behind the rumors surrounding Mrs. Isabella's family. There were whispers that they were involved in shady dealings, and their power extended beyond the city limits. Gabriel was willing to investigate thoroughly and expose the truth, even if it meant putting his own life at risk. When Gabriel arrived in Villanova, he met Laura and Mrs. Lucia. Intrigued by the young housemaid's life story, he decided to get close to her to gather information about Mrs. Isabella's family. Laura, despite being cautious, felt a connection with the young journalist and decided to trust him. Meanwhile, Daniel continued his pursuit of Laura, but as time went on, he realized that his feelings were genuine. The love he felt for the young housemaid began to shake his convictions and made him question his own identity. As the love triangle developed, Gabriel got closer and closer to the truth about Mrs. Isabella's family. He uncovered evidence of illicit activities and corruption involving the family, putting his life at risk. As fate conspired to unite the destinies of Laura, Daniel, and Gabriel, secrets from the past began to emerge. Mrs. Isabella, tormented by the mistakes of her past, decided to confront her own demons and reveal the truth to her children. But in doing so, she not only put herself at risk, but also the lives of those she loved. As the truth finally emerged, suspense heightened, and each character faced difficult choices. Laura had to decide between the forbidden love she felt for Daniel and the possibility of a common future with Gabriel. Daniel had to confront his dark past and accept the truth about his identity. Gabriel, in turn, had to choose between exposing the truth about Mrs. Isabella's family or protecting those he loved. In the climax of the story, secrets were revealed, hearts were broken, and lives were transformed. Amid betrayals, redemptions, and surprising twists, Laura, Daniel, and Gabriel discovered that true love is capable of overcoming any obstacle. While Villanova recovered from the consequences of the revelations, a new story began to be written. And at the heart of this narrative was the unwavering strength of love, capable of transforming lives and transcending time. After the revelations that shook Villanova, the city was immersed in a whirlwind of emotions. The news about Mrs. Isabella's family's dark secrets spread rapidly, causing shock and indignation in every corner of the town. Laura, Daniel, and Gabriel faced their own internal battles. Laura was torn between her love for Daniel and the growing connection with Gabriel. Her heart was broken, and each choice seemed impossible to make. Daniel, on the other hand, struggled to accept his true identity and the shadowy past that haunted him. He felt lost and confused, unsure of who he truly was. Confronting the harsh reality, he realized that he needed redemption to become a better man. Meanwhile, Gabriel was determined to expose the whole truth about Mrs. Isabella's family and bring justice to the city. He was willing to face all dangers and risks to ensure that the truth was revealed. As the dust began to settle, Laura, Daniel, and Gabriel also embarked on their own paths of redemption. Laura decided to follow her heart and chose true love, finding happiness in Gabriel's arms. Daniel, in turn, sought help to deal with his internal demons and strived to become a better person. He realized that true wealth lay not in his family's fortune but in his ability to make a difference in the world. Meanwhile, Gabriel continued his quest for truth and justice. He wrote a series of investigative articles about the corruption in Villanova and the importance of confronting the past to build a better future. His journalistic work inspired many in the city to fight for change and commit to transparency and honesty. Over time, the city began to heal from the wounds of the past and rebuild as a more united and just community. Mrs. Isabella used her influence and resources to support social projects and help those in need, seeking redemption for her past actions. As a new chapter unfolded, love, forgiveness, and the power of truth prevailed in Villanova, leaving a lasting impact on everyone involved. Wow! You've just followed every twist, dark secret and exciting moment of this incredible story in Villanova. If you're as captivated as we are, be sure to voice your thoughts in the comments below. We want to know your theories, favorite characters, and the moments that touched your emotions the most. If you enjoyed this plot full of mysteries, suspense, and love, don't miss the chance to like this video and share it with your friends so that they too can get involved in this engaging narrative. And if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, don't waste any more time. Sign up now and don't miss out on any exciting content to come. We thank all of you, our amazing community, for being part of this exciting journey in Villanova. See you in the next video, where fascinating new stories await to be unveiled. Until then.